Hi, this is Dennis with Cyberkraft. I'm here with another performance-based question. Let's jump into this one and see what we have. Okay, so this one's going to be on RAID levels, it looks like. Identify the RAID level depicted in the graphic below. This is going to be a straight mirroring that I see here. We have two disks, and the data is going to be the same on each disk. So this has to be RAID 1. RAID 1 has mirroring. So it's going to be RAID 1, and that's just, there's nothing else going on. It has to be RAID 1. So it's kind of like a warm-up question. Identify this RAID level. Okay, here we have 4 disks. Disks 0, 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to be putting the information on multiple disks. And we have a bit for parity. Okay, so a parity bit can recover any of the other bits. So this parity bit could recover anything from A3, 2, or 1. So if we lost any one of these bits, if we lost a disk here, if we lost disk 2, for example, we can recover the parity bit for Bravo with B1, 2, and 3. And then Alpha 3, Charlie 2, and Delta 2 can be recovered from the parity bits of the other disks here. So this is RAID 5, I believe. We have RAID 1, RAID 0, 3, 5, 6, and 10 as possible options. These are more common. RAID 0, 1, 5, and 10. Don't really see RAID 6 used too much. So that's RAID 5. I'm pretty confident. Okay, this one. So we have, this looks like RAID 10. Just right off the bat, we have A1, 2, we have A1, 1, 3, 3, 5, 5, 7, 7, and A2, 2, 4, 4, 6, 6, 8, 8. Okay, so this one I believe would represent RAID 10 because we have mirroring here, and then we have striping across all 4 disks. So we basically have, if you take a look at this, take a look at like this far left disk and this far right disk. If you were to stripe the data across those 2 disks, this would make a lot of sense. You would have just striping, but since we've mirrored these disks also, now we have striping and mirroring, so it combines a RAID 1 and a RAID 0, and that's why it's called RAID 10. So that depicts a RAID 10, has to be. All right. Okay, a company has configured a RAID 0 for one of its storage disks. The RAID now contains 2 disks configured in a RAID 0 array. One of the disks fails. Will the company be able to use the RAID to recover the data? Okay, so RAID 0 is just striping. That just increases the speed at which you can read and write the data. So it's going to be no. Yes, RAID 0 mirrors the disk. That's wrong. That's RAID 1. No, RAID 0 only provides striping, increases throughput. That's true. Yes, but only if the data is recovered with 60 minutes. That's not right. It's pretty funny. No, RAID 0 encrypts the data, making recovery impossible. This is like I guess maybe like a 30-second rule. You drop a piece of food. 60-minute rule with data recovery. If you get it within 60 minutes, you can recover it, right? No, I think this is the right answer there. Okay. All right. Select all the following devices used to provide redundancy. A switch does not provide redundancy on its own. Load balancer, yes. A router, no. A UPS is an uninterrupted power supply. UPD is nothing that I can think of. RAID does. Server cluster, yes. And a bridge, that's a networking device. That doesn't provide redundancy on its own either. So I think we're in good shape here. Okay, let's see how I did. I'm pretty confident I got all of these here. But let's check. 5 out of 5. Okay, great. So that's kind of what I thought here, but let's see the explanations. Identify this RAID level. This is RAID 1. RAID 1 provides mirroring. That's very good. RAID 50 combines RAID 5 and 5.0. I've never seen a RAID 50 ever used, but I guess it does exist. I wasn't aware of that. RAID 6, similar to RAID 5. Yeah, these aren't nearly as common. RAID 5, 10, 0, and 1 are pretty common RAID uses. This one's RAID 5 for sure. RAID 5 has that striping and parity information. You have to have at least 3 disks for RAID 5. So we have 4 disks here. You need to have at least 3 because you have to have RAID 5 will work if 1 disk fails. So you need to have at least 3 disks for that to continue operating, for that to replicate the information across the 3. So we can envision this with just 3 disks. You can have more than 3, but you have to have at least 3 for a RAID 5 configuration. RAID 10 here, for sure. Striping and mirroring, and that's basically, imagine this if this is just stripe between the first disk and the last disk, and then we add mirroring together. So we have that striping and that mirroring. So it's a RAID 1 plus 0 is sometimes how it's written out, or RAID 10. That's very good. Company has RAID 0. No, RAID 0 only provides striping, increases the throughput. It does not duplicate the data in any way. That's perfect. Yep. And then these are all the following devices. UDP is not a real thing, and these are just networking devices. Okay, so that's pretty good. Pretty good question, I think, for practicing the different RAID levels. These are probably the most common RAID levels you'll see on your exam. RAID 0, or RAID 1, 0, 5, and 10. So you should definitely memorize these for your test because these are the most common ones that you'll see tested. And it's easy points if you memorize your RAID levels. Come across a question that has RAID or tests you on RAID, you can answer it, drive on, get those free points, and keep going with your exam. So I hope this question was helpful. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a great day.